Here's why the Broncos are keeping Nick Bonito extension talks quiet at Sunday morning Broncos country. The coffee's hot, the pregame chatter is rolling, and while the headlines across the league scream drama, dysfunction, and blockbuster trades, Denver is quietly building something far more important: stability. This offseason, the Broncos have been working behind the curtain on contract talks with several key players. Leading the list, rush linebacker Nick Bonito, a rising star and one of the most disruptive young defenders in the AFC. Add in names like defensive end John Franklin Myers, center Luke Wattenberg, and defensive tackle Malcolm Roach, and you start to see the blueprint of a front office trying to secure its future without getting caught up in the daily noise cycle. Lessons from Dallas. How not to do it. If you need a reminder of what happens when things get messy, look no further than Dallas. The Cowboys let negotiations with Micah Parsons spill into the public square, handshake agreements gone wrong, ownership taking swipes at the player, and a breakup that got so personal that Jerry Jones repeatedly referred to Parsons as Michael during the press conference. Petty, ugly, unnecessary. The result? The Cowboys shipped out one of the most feared defenders in football and looked disorganized in the process. Denver is determined not to follow that path. Instead of feeding headlines, they're starving the rumor mill. No leaks, no sound bites, no drama. Penner, Payton, and Payton. The three pillars. One of the big differences in Denver is leadership alignment. Co-owner and CEO Greg Penner has been involved, but not intrusive. He knows when to let GM George Paton and head coach Sean Payton do their jobs, and that balance is key. Ownership that meddles too much creates confusion, and confusion becomes chaos. In Denver, the message is clear. Keep things under wraps, stay professional, and don't invite distractions. That approach has already paid off. Think back to extensions. For Cortland Sutton, Zach Allen, Patrick Surtain II, Quinn Miners, and Jonathan Cooper. How much drama did you hear about those? None. Yet, when the deals were done, fans were celebrating. That's the consistency Denver is aiming for again with Bonito. Why Bonito matters. Let's talk about Bonito. He's not just a young defender. With upside, he's becoming one of the anchors of this defense. His speed off the edge, his ability to disrupt plays, and his knack for closing gaps make him invaluable. Players like that don't just fall into your lap. You develop them, you invest in them, and you lock them in before they become the missing piece on somebody else's roster. Bonito's camp knows his value. They're watching what other pass rushers across the league are signing for, letting the market shape the numbers. That's normal. Negotiations aren't just about talent, they're about timing. But by all accounts, both sides want this marriage to continue. That's a huge difference from the toxic breakdowns we've seen in other cities. Silence can be golden. Now, I know fans can get anxious when they don't hear updates. Silence makes people wonder, is there tension? Is there a snag? Are we losing? Him? But here's the reality. Silence often means things are on track. Public negotiations in today's NFL usually signal a problem. Agents leak to apply pressure, teams posture through the media, and fans get dragged into the mess. Denver doesn't want that. Instead, Payton and Payton are playing it smart. Keep it internal, keep it clean, and announce it when the ink's dry. It's not flashy, but it's effective. The big picture for Broncos country. Here's the takeaway. The Broncos aren't avoiding the spotlight because they don't have a plan. They're avoiding it because they do. This is about creating a culture where players trust the front office, where negotiations don't get turned into circus acts, and where the focus stays on football. That's how you build continuity. That's how you build a team that competes in January. And if you're worried about Bonito, don't be. The deal will come. It might not happen overnight, but the Broncos are committed to keeping their playmakers, and Bonito knows Denver is the right place for him to grow into one of the league's premier defenders. So, Broncos fans, what do you think? Do you prefer this quiet, drama-free approach to extensions, or do you want more transparency along the way? Pull up a spot on the couch, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation rolling. Stick with this channel for consistent, level-headed Broncos coverage, the kind that cuts through the noise and keeps you locked in on what matters most, the future of this team.